Welcome back. Today we join a solitary builder racing against a dropping temperature to secure his log dugout. The structure provides shelter from the wind, but bare timber alone cannot hold heat. Frost accumulating on the interior ceiling logs reveals the urgent need for a dedicated thermal source and better insulation. A compact stainless steel wood stove will serve as the engine of this shelter. These lightweight units assemble quickly with interlocking panels, relying on the expanding heat of the fire to seal the joints. Routing the chimney pipe through the roof requires a tight tolerance. The metal must exhaust dangerous combustion gases without transferring enough direct heat to ignite the surrounding timber. Fueling a small firebox demands specific dimensions. The bow saw's narrow blade clears sawdust efficiently, allowing for rapid crosscuts even in frozen, dense wood. Splitting the logs increases their surface area, which is critical for a fast, hot burn. Frozen timber actually fractures more cleanly than green wood as the trapped moisture expands and compromises the structural fibers. A heavy stump acts as an anvil, absorbing the downward kinetic energy of the axe rather than letting it bleed into the soft snow. Using a flat-bottomed plastic sled reduces friction across the powder. Hauling a bulk supply near the entrance ensures the fire can be maintained without leaving the relative warmth of the camp. The initial burn drives out residual dampness from the steel and establishes the draft. As the interior air heats and rises up the chimney, it creates a vacuum that pulls fresh oxygen through the lower intake. Radiant heat immediately begins thawing the enclosed space. Water access requires breaching the frozen lake surface. Heavy winter accumulation creates layers of hard pack and solid ice that must be fractured manually. The wedge geometry of the axe head is perfectly suited for spalling thick ice chips away from the impact point. Below the frost line, liquid water remains insulated by the surface ice above. This guarantees a reliable supply for cooking and hydration. Raw lumber requires dimensioning before it can be used for interior framing. The drawknife removes uneven surfaces, pulling along the grain to flatten the board. Joining timber in a remote camp often relies on friction-fit joinery and minimal hardware. A small wooden peg driven into a split block provides structural stability. The flat pole of the axe head doubles as an effective hammer, driving a single nail to lock the newly squared boards together. With the platform secured, the builder addresses the thermal envelope. Round logs inevitably leave irregular gaps along their length. Pressing lengths of fibrous material into these voids is a traditional chinking method. The compressed fabric traps dead air, stopping convective drafts from pulling the stove's heat out into the freezing forest. Changes the entire microclimate of the room. Removing the bark slows the decay process and leaves a smooth surface for interior fixtures. Cutting a notch establishes a hard shoulder, allowing the bracket to bear downward weight. To mount the fixture without metal fasteners, a hand auger removes the core material. A custom-shaved wooden peg is then hammered directly into the resulting bore. As ambient moisture swells the wood slightly, the peg expands. This creates a permanent load-bearing joint that is stronger than a standard nail. The new shelf immediately provides elevated storage, keeping supplies away from ground moisture. Stacking the processed firewood tightly against the curved walls serves a dual purpose. It cures the wood for future use while acting as an additional layer of thermal mass. Cast iron excels at heat retention, distributing the stove's concentrated thermal output evenly. With the environment stabilized, survival tasks give way to passive waiting. Wood carving passes the time while the heavy pan sears the root vegetables, converting the day's labor into necessary caloric energy. A hot meal in a freezing environment does more than nourish the body. It signals that the immediate battle against the elements has been won. The enclosed dugout has transformed from a damp, frosty void into a secure, heated sanctuary. The stove will consume its fuel load slowly overnight. As the metal radiates heat, the dense log walls absorb and reflect it back, creating a sustainable barrier against the winter night. Melting fresh powder provides clean drinking water for the morning routine. A quick boil ensures safety and delivers a hot start to the day. In the end, structure, landscape, and daily routine operate as one system, a place that produces, protects, and sustains itself.